Hey, so I am just giving you a bit of an inside look into my Simple SEO audit. So I use this tool that I got a while ago from AppSumo called SiteGuru. I just find it has the most user-friendly reporting rather than me having to dive in and kind of fix things up and make it so that you can kind of understand it. The reports I get out of this directly are quite user-friendly and understandable. So I'm going to show you Wally's SEO report. So it's going to look a bit different to what you will see. And I'm going to show you inside the tool as well as the actual reports you get when I do the audit, because just to give you a look. And sometimes when I do my Loom video run throughs that you get as part of this audit, I do jump back inside the tool because there are certain things that I do like to kind of double check inside this tool. So I thought I'd give you a look inside and then also give you a look at the report just to show you what's going on. So this is Wally's, and it's going to look a bit different because I do obviously have, because it's Wally's website, I have access to Google Analytics and Google Search Console, which I can connect into this tool, and it can show me things like, obviously I haven't been paying attention to Wally's website. Sorry, Wally. So it is a bit slow, but I can see sessions and I can see keywords. Something that I don't have, like, this is information that won't be part of your audit because I don't have those connections, and I don't want those connections when I'm just doing a site audit for you. If we move into working together more regularly with SEO, then I will ask for those accesses to your analytics and your search console because it helps with the reporting and it does help inform actions taken in any sort of SEO strategy. So that stuff can kind of be basically ignored, but this is what you kind of get to look at. So it's the to-do list. So I should have opened these up. Sorry. I'll open them up now. So what the other things you'll get is, so what you actually get is this report. So you'll get this report from me. It's a PDF. It will give you this kind of information. It'll tell you when it was created. It'll give you a little site health score based on what it's kind of run through. And it has this SEO to-do list. So if we go back into SiteGuru, you can see the to-do list kind of split into content and technical. In your report, it's just all SEO. And it just kind of covers off all the different things that help improve SEO, and it's got the traffic light, kind of like everyone likes. Apparently all tools like to use this traffic light system. But what the benefit of my audit, rather than just sending you this report and having you freak out, say, overseeing, oh my God, the red or even the orange. Some people get anxiety over orange traffic light. They want all green. Because of my own personal knowledge, I will go through each of these different things. And yes, obviously meta descriptions are important. Sitemap, I can show you Wally's sitemap issues because I don't actually find it, like, they're flagging it, but it's not actually a problem to me at the moment, and I'll show you why. But like, I think that's what I do as part of the Loom walkthrough that you get, is I'll take you through all of this and kind of explain what it is and tell you where the level of importance really sits with SEO. Like, improving page speed is definitely important, but it's also very technically heavy. So there's other things you can do that can counteract any of the negative impacts of page speed, can be counteracted by doing other things on your site. Setting the right, oh my God, I failed. Oh my God, that's so embarrassing. I have failed massively. I say so often to make sure you're doing the heading hierarchy correctly. I've obviously failed at that on Wally's website. Internal linking, I do know I have a problem with that on Wally's website. I don't have blogs linked to each other. Like, I don't have pages linked to each other quite well. Improving page titles, Open Graph would probably be to do with a few other things. So then we go into the overall site checks. So now this is generally where you're going to see a lot of green lights, because this is just a basic website setup. And so most websites will have all green. I've found a lot of Shopify, Squarespace websites can have this issue, and it's just something that's automatically done with those builders. Unfortunately, I've yet to find any kind of way to counteract this but I'm still kind of looking into it. So that's always a nice, I find that's a really great thing to start with in this report as well, because that's a lot of goodness for you guys to kind of go, yay, I'm doing lots of things right. You've got the robot text, you've got a single domain, you've got an SSL certificate, which is your security. Hopefully you've got a favicon. Not everybody does. So that's the little picture in the corner of like a web browser that appears in like a search result. When you see the search result, it will, let's do a quick search of, oops, didn't mean to do that. This is another thing I kind of do is I will also do a search. So here, this little favicon here, look at him. That's what a favicon is. But so I'll also do this kind of like little search of your brand name, but we'll get into that in a minute. Sorry, I'm getting totally distracted. So yeah, arrowhead, like all of that. So then we get into indexation. All indexed, great. Sitemap, so you can see like your sitemap laid out. Most people probably will just have a single sitemap and see what I'll say. Like this error to me isn't a problem because I don't currently have a store on Wally's website, so these not being included in the sitemap or the redirects aren't really a problem to me. But it is something I will look at down the line, but it's not something I'm focused on right now. Then I'll get into canonical URLs, which are usually self-referencing, which is the right way to do it. And then we get into the meat and bones of what we actually will be addressing and the things that most business owners should be able to address themselves. So this is meta description. So you've got missing ones, big fail for me, big fail. Then you've got the ones that are too long. Now, these might be automatically populated ones, or those are ones I've actually written, but they're still too long. That's horrible. That's automatically populated. And then you've got the good ones. So again, it breaks it down red, yellow, green in the traffic light system. They love the traffic lights. I am talking really fast. I apologize. Just trying to get this in as quickly as possible. And then we get into page titles. So again, we've got the red, yellow, and green. So we don't want duplicates, we don't want them too long, and we don't want them too short. So it's just about looking at them. And then, yes. Oh, so most of them don't actually have H1s. That's even worse. So yeah, and then we get into headings, which is obviously a different situation. It's what's on the page. And yes, I do talk about one H1 per page, but you kind of need a H1 per page, but I will probably getting rid of a lot of those pages anyway, because I don't really like tag pages. So yeah, it just goes into that and it shows you what they are, so you can then kind of address whether it's maybe not worthy. Like maybe you can tweak it, maybe you can change it. Images and alt texts, I'm doing pretty good there on Wally's site. That's great. But it will have a list of like the HTML code of the image and then the pages it's on. So that's where like alt text is important for SEO. You want the keywords in there, but it's also important for accessibility because that's what screen readers read when it comes to images. And then we get into page speed, which it's never something I focus too much on when it comes to SEO because there's a lot of tech involved and I don't do a lot of tech SEO. I focus more on the content on page and just kind of working on everything that I feel the simplest side of SEO that people can actually action. But yeah, obviously it will tell you what the page speed is. And that generally is run through Google's page speed insights. So you can actually go into Google's page speed insights to get more info on that and how you could possibly fix it. But I do give kind of tips and advice on how to fix it when I'm going through this, when I run through this through your report. And then internal links. We've got internal links. Obviously, I don't like these are pages that are without internal links. So internal links is about ensuring people stay on your page for longer. So it's good for SEO in that way because it tells Google that people, or tells search that people really like your page and your website matches whatever their search intent is. But it's also just good for user experience, and it'll send them down that sales funnel. So you want people to stay on your website because the more they stay on your website, the more they're going to connect with you as a brand, and then they're going to eventually convert. And then broken links is the other one. And then internal redirects, generally not too much of a problem. And then Open Graph. So Open Graph is what is used to populate the image or the link previews on things like Facebook and Twitter, like social media and LinkedIn. So what tends to happen here, I've found, is Open Graph, it's code in the back end. You don't need to worry about it too much. But if you can fix the title, so you can see here description and image. So if you fix things like missing feature images or missing title tags or missing meta descriptions, it will automatically fix these Open Graph issues. So all of these descriptions that are missing, if I add in meta descriptions for those pages, it will automatically turn into green, because Open Graph typically pulls from the SEO kind of space to get the title and description and the URL. And then the image is usually either the first image on the page or a feature image if that's able to be set separately. So yeah, so this is what I feel is a user-friendly report that you will be sent. And then the other report you will get is this one. So this is so it covers off a lot of the same stuff that report does, but it just breaks it down per page. So you've got each individual URL, or up to, I think, 500 I've got as a max in my tool. It gives you a score for each page. It gives you the page title, the meta description, and if it's missing, it's obviously missing. Canonical URLs, if there's any redirects, the page speed, images without alt text. It will say whether it's indexable, number of H1 tags included in the sitemap, whether it has any dummy text, which you don't want any dummy text left on your website, so you definitely want that flagged. It will go through the word count. Now, there is a general rule that you want it to be at least 300 words on every page, because without that, Google search engines can't really find context on your page if there's not that content in there. Text to HTML, I am still unaware as to how important that is these days. And then, as I said, because I've got extra access to Wally's site, there is these extra things that won't be part of your report. So yeah, those are the two reports you'll get. And sometimes, like I said, so what I'll then do is I'll do a search. So like for Wally, where's Wally H? So that's his brand. And look, he's right there at the top, and then his Facebook, and then, which is always good. And then it's another page from him, and then more Facebook. And then what I might do as well is have what's called a site search. Sorry, I need to actually pull this URL up. Sorry, I should have. So yeah, so I'll do a search of your brand name because I want to show you where you sit. Make sure that your homepage is right there at the top. See if there's any other interesting things that pops up, like an info box here. If you're an e-commerce brand and you've got your Google search, Google My Business, it should pop up there under all of my shit there. If there's any products that pop up, what the people also ask questions are. It's always helpful to know whether there's more than one listing for you, those sorts of things. And then I'll also do a quick site search, which basically tells you here how many results Google is surfacing for your website. So that is, as you can see, it's got Wally's pages, but also Wally's Wally's Facebook, and also his link to from this particular blog. And then his link to I appear as well. So that's quite interesting. It's always interesting to see what appears in your site search as well. But you want it to try and just be your website links and just showing that up. Wally. And then, because then it gives you an idea whether the number of pages crawled when we go into the indexation here. 27 pages checked. So 26 pages have been crawled. So if you do a site search and there's more than that, so there's 347 for results, that's way more. But if you were to do a site search, you want those numbers to kind of match up. So that's why I like to do that as part of it. And then the other part of my Loom video will be a bit of a walk around the website, checking different things for user experience, making sure contrast is working okay, making sure images and links work. If there's any kind of things that I notice that could be done differently, I flag that. But yeah, that's essentially what you will get when you book in a simple SEO site audit with me. So let me know if you want one.